Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of the Codex Podcast. My name is Tim the Terrible. This beautiful man over here is Sal the Slab Guy. And have we got a hell of a show for you tonight? Ladies
That's
and
right.
gentlemen, we have the latest news with the rundown. We're going to be talking about Beau versus Marvel and a rumor mill of Lobo being the potential villain in the Supergirl movie. Also, we've
Yes.
got our works coming up. We're going to be talking about comic character of the week and so much more. Sal has all the information you need to know on the insanity that is variant insanity.
That's
And
right.
Sal also has his 5 statements for right or wrong this week. Very curious to see what those are. Plus, we have the random panel of the week, which is every boy's dream. The F list, which what's the best way to describe him? He builds walls. Yeah. And then our review of Spider-Man, The Death of Jean DeWolff from Peter Parker, The Spectacular Spider-Man, issues 107 through 110. Sal, how you doing today?
I am doing spectacular.
That is amazing.
How are you doing?
I'm doing
How are
sensational, sir.
All
Thank
right. Very good. Very
you.
good.
Self-titled. That's how
There
I'm
you
doing.
go.
Yeah.
I'm Silver Surfer today. I didn't pick up my Spider-Man shirt, but that's all right.
That's okay. No worries. It's all Marvel. It's all good, baby.
Yep.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to get started right away with the rundown. All right, so superhero rumor mill, Lobo to be the villain in the Supergirl movie that is slated to be coming out very soon. I can't even talk today. And the big news, Beau versus Marvel. So let's
Yes.
go ahead and dive into that right now. So
Okay.
this is from comicbookmovie.com, and it says X-Men 97. Beau DeMaio's lawyer responds to new round of wrong and defamatory claims about the fired writer. And this is written by Josh Wilding, and this was done on August 20th, so yesterday. And it goes on to say, last week, Marvel Studios and fired X-Men 97 head writer Beau DeMaio got into a
Fired.
war of words after the latter made some potentially very damaging claims about why his name has now been removed from season 2's credits. The
Yes.
Disney-owned studio denied the change was a result of DeMaio's LGBTQ plus social media activity, and chatter about sexual misconduct soon started doing the rounds online. Later, those were followed up by some shocking allegations about what exactly that alleged misconduct consisted of. DeMaio is said to have sent unsolicited photos and groped an assistant. Jeff Snyder's source went so far as to say, if you were a guy who looked like they could be under 30 on that show, you have his nudes whether you wanted them or not. He's the only, yeah, it goes on. He's the only one to have elaborated on what Marvel Studios described as egregious behavior, and may soon find himself in hot water with DeMaio's lawyer, Brian Friedman. When the streamer reached out to him with their own allegations, including a claim that multiple Marvel Studios employees reported DeMaio to HR, he hit back with the following statement addressing much of what the site planned to run in a story. And I'll go over that with you real quick. I quote, "You realize that Disney allowed Beau to have an OnlyFans page while working for the company. No clue if someone quit while he was showrunner, but that's like every single day on every single show. My client never sent lewd videos and photos to his direct reports. This is a bold-faced lie and defamatory. No one who reported Beau to HR received an inappropriate photo or video. That is simply untrue. As a proud gay black man, Disney knew exactly who he was and what he stood up for. That's why they did not tell him to stop his OnlyFans page. They let him be himself, which allowed his creativity to thrive. I don't think OnlyFans allowed him to do that. But that's
Yeah.
just, anyways, the quote goes on. When they objected to his free speech rights and not complying with illegal NDAs, a certain person over there tried to replace him because he was becoming more successful than other creators. Ask Disney if the separation agreement illegally silenced him. Let me know what they say. Don't print this crap. It's wrong and defamatory."
Wow.
Sal, what are your
I
thoughts, man?
oh man. I honestly, this is the this is really my first time hearing all this in depth news on this. So yeah, that's a lot to take in. I think Disney's trying to walk a tightrope of uh, being like open to people's for freedom of rights, but then they draw a line at certain things, and then if you rub them the wrong way, you're out. And they'll do anything to toss you out. So I don't know. I don't mind his personal freedoms whatsoever. I don't even care that he had an OnlyFans. Didn't bother me whatsoever. So I mean,
I don't think that let his creativity on X-Men 97 thrive, though.
I totally agree with that point too.
Throw comment up real quick because that kind of makes sense.
Which Bougies?
No, Dan.
Dan, okay.
Yeah. So Dan says, sounds like when Brett Favre denied sending phallic pics, then it came out that he did indeed send those pictures. This is just my personal opinion, but I think that is leaning more towards the truth. I think that unsolicited pictures were shown, whether the touching or anything like that happened, who knows? But that'll come out in due course. He wasn't fired because of his sexual orientation. He wasn't fired because of the color of his skin. He wasn't fired because he had an OnlyFans. Disney wouldn't have let him go if he didn't do something so egregious that they couldn't have his name attached.
Right. So you said something in there that I think is the breaking point. You said the breaking of NDAs.
Right.
Correct. So I know NDAs from my world just because of competing contracts and stuff like
NDAs, that. Ladies and gentlemen, are non-disclosure agreements.
Right, exactly. Where sometimes you can't go work for a rival. Sometimes you're not allowed to talk about something. Which it's a big umbrella that says you can't do X if you're working for us, or after working for us, you can't do this for a certain time period. That's God.
Go on. I'm sorry.
So violating the NDA is actually a very big thing in the legal world. So if he ended up doing some type of violation with NDAs, then yes, I could see that, and that does not pertain to anything else about him.
But with the type of language that both parties are tossing at each other, I think the NDA may be part of it, but I think something more offensive that took place is more than half of the reason why it got.
They're hiding behind the breaking of the NDAs to cut them out.
Yeah, when it goes to court, and it eventually will, unless they settle out of court, it'll all come out in the open.
It'll come out eventually. Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
But I mean, beyond that, his work on X-Men 97 was amazing. I
love that. I love season 1. It was great.
Yeah, there's no way around that. But if the allegations are true, then you cannot be allowed to continue to work for a company that claims to hold family values at heart. You just can't do that. And if you got fired, it needs to be for a just cause. Disney has to provide that information. Beau DeMaio has to defend himself, or the other way around.
Right.
Yeah.
But also on the other side of that coin, do they need to provide the general public with a reason? That should be between them and DeMaio only. And if it comes out, it comes out. Like, I guess
we are spectators. We are not entitled to any sort of information unless it is provided to us.
Yeah, exactly.
But information we are provided, which is rumors, and I dig rumors.
We do.
Sonny found this one. Lobo, ladies and gentlemen, is set to be the villain in the new Supergirl movie, and the rumor is that Jason Momoa is going to play Lobo.
Right. Yep.
So okay, so if the movie is based off of Woman of Tomorrow, which everybody says it is, James Gunn says it is, et cetera, Lobo's not anywhere in that story. So if it's going to be loosely based, cool. If it's going to be wholly based, I've got a pretty good idea on the character Lobo's going to take the position of. But either way, if Jason Momoa comes in as Lobo, I think that's perfect. He should have been cast as Lobo to begin with.
I agree with that.
And yeah, that would be a great character for him to play in the new
Right.
DCU.
So Dan mentioned this in our chats on the Comic Character of the Week page.
Mm.
It's not, and probably in our private chats as well. I'm not liking the fact that they said he's a villain. Okay,
Well, he's
so
not a hero.
well, he's not a 100% villain.
That is
He is
true.
he is a morally questionable person.
That
Okay,
that's that's being too polite.
that's being too polite. What I'm trying to say is he's not a straight up villain trying
Agreed,
to
Bougie.
type of thing. Now Dan mentioned this either in our chat or in the Comic Character of the page,
Yep.
and said that Lobo
Lobo
sucks.
sucks.
Richard, that's not true. Lobo's great.
Richard, go watch our Lobo Comic Character of the Week
Oh
episode,
gosh, you
dude.
gotta watch that. If you haven't seen that, Richard, you gotta go see
You
it.
might have even been in the chat when we were doing it, but go watch
Yep.
it again. We had a great time.
Yep. So if he's like on a contract to, let's say, kill somebody or do something
Yeah.
bad, right? And you know how Lobo is. He's one of those guys that, you know, he's gotten paid. He's going to do this job no matter what it takes.
Yeah.
Sure, I could see that. Maybe a Supergirl's trying to stop him
Yeah.
doing. Okay, so that villain I'm okay with. But as far as like a straight up villain type of take over the world, you know, end the
No.
world, no. And
No,
I hope they don't go that way at all.
That's not in Lobo's character.
Yeah.
You have a special guest behind you. I hate
Oh,
Lobo
hi.
because he kicked a cat. Richard. Richard. Oh, man. Yes, he did.
He did. I said he's morally questionable.
What did that cat do, though, to deserve getting kicked? I can't remember. Richard, remind me, please. But yeah, Bougie, what you said, Jason Momoa was born to play Lobo. I agree with that. I'm excited for it either way. Superman is
Yep.
almost done being filmed. The spoiler shots that we've seen from it so far look fantastic.
Yep.
And I cannot. Creature Commando comes out next month?
Yeah.
While we're in Baltimore, it comes out. And that's officially starting the DCU, so I'm excited there too. That there can't be enough good news for the DCU for me.
Right.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's all we got this week for the rundown. If you got any news you want us to cover, please let us know in the comments below or send us an email. Sal, what would that email be?
Well, you can actually go to thecodexstation.com and just fill out that submit form right there. Boom, it sends us an email automatically.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen.
Right? But you can go to thecodexstationpodcast.com or I'm sorry, the codexstationpodcast@gmail.com, and that's our official email.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. All right, moving right along. Let's go ahead and get into our works. We've got Comic Character of the Week coming up. Sal, who is this week's character?
Okay, this week's character is actually your pick, and that would have been Ghost Rider Danny Ketch.
Yes, I am super excited about that. I missed out on the Johnny Blaze episode that you guys did. And we're getting closer to spooky season, so what better way to get everybody geared up for that than Ghost Rider Danny Ketch?
Absolutely. And there's been so many stories with Johnny Blaze and Danny Ketch.
Yeah.
As either one as the Ghost Rider as well.
Yeah.
So there's been some good reads out there. Definitely something you want to check out.
Oh yeah, 100%. And what characters are on the docket for the future?
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me pull up that really quick. I know we have Rocketeer coming up. 1 second, and I can tell you.
I'm getting dry eye for some reason right now.
Okay, here we go. So this Thursday's day.
Don't give the rest of the year away.
I'm not. I'm just going to give the first couple here.
All right.
The week after is Rocketeer. On September 5th is a Wonder Woman, and that's going to be a revisit.
Ooh.
So we're going to do a revisit on Wonder Woman.
I'm excited about that.
I think I'm going to stop there, but I'm going to say on the future dockets, we got some Adam Strange, we got some Warlord, we've got a Damian Wayne, we've got a Green Lantern Guy Gardner show coming up.
We got the 100th episode coming up too.
And that's going to be around February.
Oh yeah. So ladies and gentlemen, lots of cool characters coming up for Comic Character of the Week. Danny Ketch Ghost Rider is tomorrow. Rocketeer is next week, Dan. Yep,
Yep.
Dan's been excited for that. Lobo shouldn't be good or bad. He'll kill anybody for the right price.
That's right, for the right price.
For the right
And
price.
yes, Dan, this is the Rocketeer was Dan's pick, and we've had so many scheduling issues where we wanted to make sure that all the right people that wanted to be on for Rocketeer are on for Rocketeer. So,
and speaking of that, we've got a special guest for the Rocketeer episode. Who would that be?
well, that would be Gary's best friend in the world, Mike Harper. He's
That's
also
right.
a part of the Comic Logic crew,
Yeah,
and he's also does their Grumpy Old Nerds show as well. He's a great guy. So,
oh yeah,
he was on the show for our Sergeant Rock episode, if I remember right.
dude, that's one of my favorite episodes that we have ever done for Comic Character of the Week. It was a long episode, but it didn't feel like it. There was so much information that was put out in that episode. It was great.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Comic Character of the Week coming up for the Codex Station every Thursday at 9 p.m. live right here. Don't miss it. That brings us to something pretty insane, Sal.
Oh my gosh. Is it time?
It's time.
It's time. Ladies and gentlemen, this segment is my favorite, and it's Variant Insanity.
Mm-hmm. I love that song.
I think I got to rework that intro, make it just a little bit longer.
Oh,
I just got to do that.
You can play that for another 5 seconds. I'm good with that.
Absolutely. All right. So, people want to take a guess. Do you want to take a guess of what comic book had the most variants this week? Just released.
Chat, throw it in there. Let us know what you think, guys.
Let's see what you got. Yep. Come on, let's see what you got. Let's see what you got.
I'm gonna say Wolverine Revenge. That's what I'm gonna say. And I'm gonna say
are you sure about that?
15 variants.
That's a good guess.
That's what I'm saying.
Guess. Okay. Do you want to phone a friend?
No. I'm sticking with that. I think it's Wolverine.
That's your plan and you're sticking to it. Yeah. That's your no one in the chat wants to take a guess? Come on.
Nope, not right now.
All right, here we go.
They're intimidated by how
they are. They're scared. They don't know if it's going to be a 1,000 variants or not. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here is the cover A for the issue with the most variants this week.
Am I right?
Thundercats number 7 from Dynamite Comics. Of course. The DNA cover there. So I'm showing you there. That's the A cover. So let's go ahead and redo the count. Do you know how many issues?
Oh, it's going to be over 26. I'm going to say 32.
Okay.
Yeah.
32.
Dan said Wolverine.
Close, but no cigar.
Bougie says Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four. Or he's saying something else. We don't repeat it on air.
I think that'd be FFS.
Yeah.
32. That's what I say.
Okay. Actually, the number of variants is 27.
Going
from 7A to 7ZC.
Oh, my Lord. Dan says 34.
34. Yep. Okay, so there you go.
Are people really buying that much Thundercats? Is it that good of a series?
I have not been reading it.
Neither have I. So
I never really didn't like the Thundercats even as a TV show. So I never really got behind them.
I loved it when I was a kid, but
I didn't even like it when I was a kid. I didn't like it. I didn't.
What is wrong with you?
I don't know. There's lots of things if you ask my wife.
Oh my Lord. Well, speaking of right or wrong, Sal, what do we got? No, it was Fantastic Four.
Thank you, Bougie, for keeping this a family-oriented episode. All right, so here are my right or wrong. Chat, I'll read off these questions, and you just want to respond with like number 1, yes, or right, or number 1, wrong.
Now,
keep track.
Now, remember, for those of you that are new to right or wrong, basically what it is Sal's going to give us 5 statements. There is no correct answers, right or wrong. We'll roll all 5 of them, and then after that, we'll talk about them.
All right. Let me see. Hold on. Bougie actually says something here. So,
I like Thundercats, but haven't read it in many moons.
Many moons ago.
I got the first issue autographed, but that was it.
Cool. All right. Cool. All right. Right or wrong? Question number 1. Slabbing books ruins the hobby. Right
Wrong.
or wrong?
That's wrong.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we're gonna do one for wrong. So all right.
Yeah.
I also think that's a wrong statement. I
Yeah.
don't think that's right at all.
No.
Variants are overdone.
Right.
See, this is a gray area for me. This is certainly a gray area.
Excluding Venom, of course.
Yeah, we exclude Venom. You're right. Venom or Spider-Man or Green Lantern or
Right.
X-Men or Bougie says number 1 is wrong.
Yeah.
I'm assuming Dan also is saying number 1 is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Keith looks like he's also saying is wrong. So it looks like that's a wrong all the way around. Very good, guys. So Mr. Keith then responds with right. So I'm assuming that is for variance.
Yeah.
Bougie's also responding there for number 2 saying right. So there we go. So we got a couple of rights. Okay. Number 3.
No, wait. Keith's got a good point there, and we'll circle back to that. 5, and you're getting into too many.
Yes, there is definitely a line of diminishing returns. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Return on investment, you know? All right. So my next question number 3. Signatures should be personalized, right or wrong?
Wrong.
Okay. I would actually say right to that.
I'll get into why I say wrong in a minute.
Yep. Dan says too many variants. Too many variants. Okay. So that's question number 3. Yep. That was question number 3, folks. Signatures should be personalized. So, all right. Here's a nice deep one for you.
Mm-hmm.
Character deaths should be permanent.
Right.
Yep. I have to agree with that.
Yeah.
I think they've been it's been over abused on the return from death type of thing.
Oh yeah, it's a trope now.
So Mr. Keith says right. I'm assuming that's for character deaths. Yeah. Dan said wrong. Wow. Okay. I hope you're seeing if that's wrong for signatures, Dan, and not for the character deaths.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
He says number 3 is a right.
Mm-hmm.
So he agrees with the signatures to be personalized.
Yeah.
All right.
Keith says wrong. And wrong, Bougie also, and Dan wrong for number 4.
For number 4?
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Wow. That's a right down the middle type of question here. Okay.
What's the last one you got?
This is a pretty good one. I like this one.
Okay.
Online comic shops are the future of the hobby. Like they're going to replace brick and mortar stores.
I have to pick one or the other. I'm going to say wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to say right, but under the right conditions.
I'm going to say wrong.
Okay. There's no right or wrong answer here. It's just your personal opinion, how you feel.
All right. So let's circle back to the first one. What was your first one again?
Slabbing ruins the hobby.
Okay, I said wrong on that, and I firmly stand by that. It does not ruin the hobby. I think it encapsulates the hobby.
Right.
Exactly. It's just another part of it that I enjoy. You enjoy very much. A lot of us have slabs. I've got more raw books than I do slab books, but the slab books I have, I'm very proud of those.
Yeah.
And I guess I might be a little bit of an outlier when it comes to slabbing because I'm, unlike Wes, who I love dearly, is a 9.8 snob, and I have to bring him down sometimes. I catch that bug from time to time, but I am honestly very happy with whatever it comes back as, unless like I know better than the graders do.
Yes, you do. Of course you do.
Of course
you know better than they do.
Yeah. Your thoughts on that, Sal?
I do not think it's ruining the hobby. For the people that say, "Oh, but you're encasing it in a coffin, you're never going to read that book again," I have other copies of the same book.
Yeah.
Even though it may not be that variant cover, but I've got another copy of that book which I have read. So Um,
This needs to be in plastic. Needs to
okay,
be. If this were raw, it'd run the risk of getting damaged. And that
right,
beautiful 8.5 grade is super awesome for something like this.
right,
Has to stay that
absolutely.
way. Yeah.
So and some books are just such beautiful artwork. They're
Yeah.
modern art masterpieces, as Gary has said before, and I
Yes.
totally agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
And they should be displayed. They're just like artwork being
Yeah.
displayed on the wall. And bam, I have them up there, and they're awesome. You know,
Yeah.
and I love displaying them.
Keith, I agree with you. Throw
Oh,
Keith's comment up there real quick.
here we go. Here we go.
Uh,
Sorry, I'm running the chat and I'm slow.
no, that's all right. Keith says, I used to get annoyed with comic grading because it's naturally going to increase the value, but I've come around to how essential it is despite its flaws. And there are flaws. Don't get me wrong.
Absolutely. That's a
Yeah.
very good point, Keith. That's a very good
Yeah.
point.
There are flaws.
There's flaws.
And they are very apparent sometimes.
Mhm,
But I think overall it
mhm.
benefits the industry.
So
They
Bushi
are.
says slides they are prized possessions. Yeah, because what if I've got it signed? I've got it signed by, you
Yeah.
know, I've got a Stan Lee and a John Romita signed book.
Yeah.
You can no longer get that.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
and so those are very prized possessions for me.
Yeah, cover doesn't
Uh,
mean reading, it's still the same story,
yeah,
100%. And you
yeah,
can get most of those stories in the trades.
you can.
Whatever happened with the CGC grading scandal where they were just passing comics through regrading them? I don't know. We haven't done a
S-
follow-up on that in a while.
You know why? Because that. This is what I feared when we first covered this story. It got swept under the rug.
They buried it.
It's been buried now.
Oh,
They did have a lawsuit between some employees, and I think they won the lawsuit to that. I don't remember off the top of my head.
so
But
yeah,
as far as that guy
the Mark
taking
Jewelers scandal.
replacing the
Yeah,
books and then getting them reslabbed again, or sending back a Letzer book to be
yeah,
reslabbed again. Yeah, nothing. And
yeah,
there's been no communication from them saying, okay, these are measures that we've taken place to
yeah,
help prevent that. None of that's happened because they haven't come
yeah.
out and said they haven't pressed charges against that guy, as far as I know.
Okay, so we're definitely going to follow up on this.
Yeah,
I'm
we definitely are.
The next
That's a
slab
slideshow.
show that we do, yeah, we'll do a follow up and see if there's any
What I'm trying to say is, I think a lot of stuff has been buried under the rug
yeah,
because they wanted to go through uh, as business as usual type of thing. Let's
yeah,
just keep it going. Everybody will forget, and we just keep
yeah.
going. You know, that
Well,
type of
we
thing.
haven't for I forgot,
We
but
haven't
Sal didn't
forgotten.
forget, neither did Keith.
Yep. So yep. Yep. Covers doesn't matter for reading. It's still the same
Yeah,
story. You're absolutely right. And damn,
yeah.
Leader Romano, that's a slab for show.
What was
Oh, show.
question number 2, Sal?
Oh, question number 2. My fault. Variants are overdone. Everybody had said right,
Yes.
and this is
So
this is a fine line for me. But go ahead.
so I think that a variant insanity, as much as we laugh at that and our jaws drop, I
Yeah.
think it showcases just how insane
Hmm.
those variants can get from time to time.
That's right.
27 on Thundercats number 7, that's ridiculous. There's no reason
Mm,
for that title to have that many.
right.
Some of these variants are incredibly unattainable, like the 1 in 50s. Well, the 1 in 50s you can get, the 1 in 100s are even harder. I get
Yeah.
the store exclusives. I get that, and I am all for that. That helps the shop.
Yep.
And you have to go to that shop or order it directly from them. They get the money for that. I agree with that 100%.
And it also adds to the uniqueness. Like, I've got a much rarer book than anybody else
Well,
has.
I mean,
You know?
like the Nirvana exclusives, those are only from that store. I love
Right.
that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think there's way too many. Sal, what are your thoughts?
So yes and no. I really, this is my gray area because I like variants. You know, there should be a variants anonymous, and I would be the president of that club. So yes, I like variants, but I do think there should be a cutoff,
Yeah.
and I think they really should have the variants for a reason. Like up and coming artists, like you're a new kid on the block. Hey, we've selected you to do a variant for Superman.
Yeah.
Give us a variant. You know, that type of thing. And
Yeah.
that way, that person's name gets out into the field more, and he might get more offers for another job. Oh, we
Yeah.
saw your artwork on Superman's cover. We want you to do covers, or we want you to do interior art for this book now. So I think it should be used as a promotional type of event or getting
Mhm.
people's name out there. You
Now I
know,
do like when they do the themed variants. I
yeah,
dig
those are
that.
pretty cool.
I think those are nice, or like you said, with an artist showcase,
Yep.
that kind of thing. Like Arthur Adams did a whole bunch of
Yeah.
variants 1 month, and
Right.
then they have uh God, they did the Gwen Stacy variants
Oh yeah.
a couple years ago, which
Right.
was pretty cool.
They did a
That
Miles
type of thing.
Morales one too.
Yeah, I dig that stuff when they did the iconic, hip hop covers,
Right.
that was great, yeah, so that type of stuff I think is cool, but, when they go overboard,
Yeah.
they go
What
overboard.
was that one week? It was 187 variants. What was that? I forget what that was.
Oh
The
god,
Turtle Book. That was
yes,
a Turtle Book, I think.
something
How many
stupid.
characters would be on the cover otherwise? Okay.
Yeah, there you
Bougie
go.
says exclusive books are cool. It's kind of a one of a kind book.
Yep, I agree with that,
Absolutely,
yep.
100%. Dan here says, and they won't hold their value. People are throwing money at these ratio variants. 10 years from now, no one will care about that.
Some of them do,
But
not a
not to
lot of
not a
them.
lot of them.
No, they are the exception to the rule, and Dan is
Yeah,
very correct. Like those 1 in 10s and 1 in 25s, 1 in 50s, 1 in 100s. Within a couple of weeks, sometimes a month,
yeah.
their value plummets significantly. Some still hold, but a lot of them do not. Yeah. What was the next question or the next
Uh,
statement?
Next question was signatures should be personalized. And a lot of people were 50-50 on this one.
Okay, so I said wrong, and
Yeah,
not because I disagree with it, right?
right.
I have many personalized signatures, and I
Yep.
think Gary turned me on to that, and I couldn't be happier with my personalized signatures. But some of the books that I have, I don't want to have personalized. I just want the signature. That's all I want,
Yeah.
either for resale or for whatever other reason. But personalization, if like what Gary says, if you are never going to get rid of that book, get it personalized. Keep it there. Let it become, excuse me, a legacy for your kids after you pass, or if you pass it down to them before you go off of this earth.
Yep.
That would be great because then that's something that they can remember. They're like, my dad got this. That was great.
Yeah.
But yeah, not everything needs to be personalized.
I, so I'm going to say 60-40 on this with in favor of getting personalized. I think that I think by doing that, it's all about what Uncle Gary said.
Hmm.
It provides a better connection between the artist and the fan.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh yeah.
so the artist is like, hey, I got this guy wants me to sign his book. That's great. Oh, I got to personalize it to Tim the Terrible, doing a great job with Codex. You're awesome. You rock. That
The
type of thing.
like
You're gonna yeah.
you go ahead. I'm gonna get
Yeah,
this perfect example.
you're gonna cherish that book a bit more, and be proud to show that one off in your
Yeah.
collection. Uh, I personally, I guess I don't really have a problem with people just getting it signed because I have a lot of books signed myself with just signatures and
Like
some remarks.
this
Go
one
ahead.
of yours, the Dick
Yeah,
Tracy variant
yeah, yeah.
that I have it saying
Yeah.
calling Sal the slab guy.
Oh, nice.
That's that's
See,
perfect. That's
that's awesome.
perfect. Yeah.
See now I'm gonna get that slabbed, and on the slab tag, it's gonna say calling Sal the slab guy.
Exactly.
So
Something
come
like
on.
that. That's amazing. But
That's right.
other times,
So because I feel like when I went to Baltimore last year, people were just dropping stacks of books in front of
yeah.
artists and stuff like that. I'm like thinking to myself, these artists must be like tired of this because they're just like here, 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 and
Well, and when you get that guy or girl that comes up and says, "Hey, can you sign this to Tim
yeah,
or to, whoever?" They're like, "Oh,
right.
yes, I
That's
can."
what I'm saying. It develops that more personal connection, and
Yeah.
it makes it more intrinsic value, I guess, or
Yeah.
sentimental value. You
Yes,
know,
value, 100%.
so that's why I'm 60-40 on it. I
Yeah.
would much rather have it personalized, but if I didn't, I still want it signed.
Yeah.
You know,
Now Keith's
I'm
comment
sorry.
says, nope, you're good. He says,
Eh,
I signatures can be personalized. I don't really see how personalization really diminishes
it
its
doesn't.
value. It does not. In the eyes of resellers, it
Yeah,
does, but in the eyes of nearly everybody else, you're exactly correct.
yeah.
Dan says I say wrong just because I don't like how it looks aesthetically. If I get a signature, I just want the signature.
And
See,
that's
I agree
fair.
with that on certain books. On other
I
books,
That's
yeah.
fair. That's fair.
And Bougie says I can understand both sides of the signature thing.
I told you
100%.
my questions were going to be deep this round.
All
Huh?
right. What was the next question or the next
Uh,
statement?
the next statement was character deaths should be permanent.
Oh, 100%. I almost cussed. I'm trying to cut it back, ladies and gentlemen.
Don't be Zeb Wells bashing tonight, okay?
It's like fast food. I don't need it in my diet near as much, but it's really hard to give it up. Yeah, character deaths, they should be permanent. It completely takes away from the seriousness, the drama of all of that. And like when Wolverine died, you knew he was going to be dead.
Yeah, I feel like whatever.
Thanks, Bougie. Yeah, right on. Um, yeah, when Johnny Storm died, you knew it wasn't going to be forever. Punisher's dead right now. You know he's coming
He's
back.
coming back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he's coming back in the Daredevil show. So you're going to
Right.
see him there. Spider-Man, when he died, that we knew wasn't going to last forever,
Yep.
and so on and so forth. The only two deaths in the 616 universe that are permanent are Gwen Stacy and Uncle Ben.
Right.
Yeah. And
Yep.
in DC, the only deaths that are permanent in DC, what, Maxwell Lord didn't even stay dead, right? He's
Right.
back
Right.
alive.
Yeah.
Supergirl is alive.
Oh, actually, Captain Marvel stayed dead in the Marvel universe. The original
Yeah,
Captain Marvel.
yeah,
He's
yep,
he's
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 done
not back.
too. Yeah. Keith says it depends on how they bring said character back to life. It does, but it's got to be something super story driven, and there's got to
Yeah.
be a really good reason for it.
Right.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
All right. What was your next one?
My next
This
one
was the
is
last one, right?
the last one. Yep. This
Yeah.
is the last question. Online comic shops are the future of the hobby.
Okay. But before we go into that, Dan says character resurrections are done way too often to the point that their deaths lose their meaning. But if it's
I
a great
agree.
story, I'm fine with it, like Winter Soldier and Red Hood. 100%. Bucky
That's
was
totally.
dead for decades. You
Yep.
either die a hero or live long enough to become Robert Downey Jr. That is also true.
True. Yep.
Let's see here. What does Bougie say? Yeah, I agree with Mr. Keith. Got to be a good story and should be meaningful, like the death. 100%, man.
Yep. Yep.
All right, so online comic book stores are going to be the future of the industry, and they're going to replace brick and mortar. Is that right?
That's my feeling. Yes.
So I say wrong on that, not because I don't. Well, I don't think that, but like places like Heroes Corner Comics, their online comic shop is the best that I have seen. And I'm not saying that because I buy from them. I'm saying that because it's true.
Yeah.
Louis and his crew have treated that online shop like a brick and mortar, and that's
Right.
exactly what it is. And it has that type of feel and community. They have a very meaningful and heartfelt online presence on Facebook and a whole community. And I think other shops need to be like that. My
Sorry.
comic shop, I don't get that feeling from. Mile High Comics, I don't get that feeling from.
Right.
I think I don't think online shops are going to replace brick and mortar, but I think shops like Heroes Corner Comics are going to become the norm where they are online brick and mortar stores, if that
Yeah.
makes any sense.
Yep. No, it's 100%.
Yeah.
And I'm also, I am also a big subscriber to Heroes Corner
You are
Comics.
putting Louis' kids through college.
And getting them to get their cars and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Yep. I have to admit, I do buy one or two extra variants from him.
Yeah.
So
But I
yeah.
mean that shows loyalty to a store, right? You have a
Right.
brick and mortar store that you go to. I have a
Right.
brick and mortar store that I go to. We are loyal to those stores. But Louis, man, whatever he's doing has drawn you and I into his fold, and we are loyal to that store too.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do end up with duplicate A covers because I do want to buy the A cover when it comes out,
Yeah.
and and just the way the online store works, I don't get the A cover at the same time the week comes out.
Right.
It's just how it is.
Yep.
So, and I accept that. That's fine. But I don't find all the variants at my local store that I do with
Yep.
Heroes Comics. So I
Exactly.
mean, so I don't know if it'll replace them 100%, but I think you're right. I
Yep.
think it'll become more the norm
Yeah.
type situation. And if they model their business like Heroes Corner Comics has modeled theirs, they
Yep.
could be successful. They could be very successful.
Bougie says my
Oh,
shop.
sorry.
Oh no, we'll go with Dan first.
Sorry.
Dan
Okay.
says if it happens, it won't be for decades. The old school fans are the lifeblood of the buying community, and they still like going to the store and talking comics. 100%.
It's true.
100%.
That's true. Bougie.
Bougie says my shop sucks. Wang didn't order one copy of Aaron's TMNT. Bloody stupidity, dude. Get in with HCC. You'll be pleasantly surprised. And Dan says for a lot of people, the only time they get to talk comics is when they go to the store every week to pick up their books, or they come here.
That's right.
Oh, Wes, the dynamic duo. I am Robin. This is Catwoman. You're welcome. Do that again, Sal. One more time.
I'm not doing it. It's not. It's a one shot. It's a one shot. That's it. It's a one shot.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's a clip of the week right there.
That's right.
But yeah. So yeah, I've said all I need to say on that.
Okay, that was my last question.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are moving right along. Let's head into this week's random panel of the week, and it is every boy's dream.
Yes,
now, mind you, when I put this up here, I think every young man and adult still fantasizes about this to this day.
Let's see it. As Catwoman crashes through a window.
That is Black Cat, sir.
Oh yeah, it's Black Cat. Sorry.
Yeah.
And yep, it crashes, lands on this little boy's bed.
Yes. Holy smokes. Yeah, that would be wonderful. Yeah. Oh, Felicia Hardy. Fancy meeting you here.
This reminds me of Animal House.
Yes. Oh my God.
House.
Thank you. Yes.
so at the parade in Animal House, at the end of it, some girls bounced off a float.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how I think the tank car runs into it. And they fly off the float and into this boy's bedroom, and he's like, "Yes, thank you, God.
Thank you, God. Yes." Oh my God. Yeah. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Keep your dreams alive. It will happen one day.
Yep. Oh, I gotta put up this comment. This comment.
Who is it? Isolate that from Sal so we can play it back as a soundbite. Oh, dude, 100%. That's happening. 100%. Meow. You can put some pearls in your teeth too.
That's right.
Oh my gosh. Moving right along, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for this week's F list.
F list. All right, let's hear it. The F list.
There we go. I don't know what happened there.
Okay.
I'm good. All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, Sal, this is all for you. This is the Wicked Wall.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep, hit it. Wow.
Funny show pictures.
At least protect the groin area if you're gonna be a wall. You're gonna expose yourself for that.
Look at this. And there's an action figure somebody made too. Now let's get into some actual panel work here.
Okay. Oh God.
Oh my Lord.
That's smarts.
Let's go with this. No one can stop the wall. Yeah,
is he like hitting a baseball player or something?
An umpire.
An umpire. Yeah.
And then here's one wall you'll never crawl. My Lord. All right, Sal. So give us your best thoughts here on what you think the Wicked Wall is all about. And I'll leave that up there for inspiration.
Wow. Let's see.
Oh, what do you got?
Wallace Warrington. Wallace Warrington was a man who didn't back down from anything and stood his ground.
Sure did.
So when he was standing next to a wall and a meteor came right by him, it merged him with the wall and gave him the powers of the wall. No,
Okay.
that's terrible. No, this is just
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me go ahead and give you the history of the Wicked Wall. Sal, if
please.
you want to cycle through those pictures for me?
Oh yeah, well hold on, we gotta do this first. He needs
What do we got here?
graffitied, you know.
He needs a
And
girlfriend.
no, graffitied. He needs to be graffitied.
Oh, and a
And a
wig.
wig.
Yeah.
Yep. And then but he's a big Commodores fan.
Probably.
Hold
All
on,
right.
here we go. Hold on, one more. One more.
He
He took her
turned.
life after feeding the big bad wolf.
Oh my God. As Spider-Man says, that's smart.
That's smarts.
All right. Cycle through them
Wow.
pictures, good sir, and I will give you the
Oh.
complete history of
All right.
the Wicked Wall. So the Wicked Wall is named Joshua Waldemeier. He is from Earth 57780.
Can't
And
be far enough away.
now, and his first appearance was in Spidey Super Stories number 8. Well, if it isn't the wall crawling creep, here's one wall you'll never crawl, you red and blue buffoon. All right. Joshua Waldemeier, aka The Wall. This is from Marvel Fandom, ladies and gentlemen. He is a former student and part-time brick/cement mason who became living wall after a tragic construction accident.
I was close.
After an ordeal with Spider-Man, he stopped his life of crime.
Ugh.
So this is 3 paragraphs long, and I'll go quick. The entire history of the Wicked Wall. While happily working at his part-time job one day, laying bricks and pouring cement, Joshua Waldemeier was caught in a sudden explosion. The
Boom.
blast sent one of the walls Joshua had been working on tumbling down on top of him. Instead of crushing Joshua, the accident bound him with the bricks, turning him into a living wall. Soon after his accident, Joshua found himself wreaking havoc, stumbling into a New York Mets game of all places, interfering with the players and manipulating the umpires, and ultimately killing an umpire named Morgan Freeman.
Wow.
Spider-Man, who just so happened to be at the game, taking it in on an off day, stepped in to save the day. Spider-Man's webbing was powerless against the wall, and he did not feel any pain from Spidey's physical attacks. Morgan Freeman then revived himself and got mad, stating that non-players were not allowed on the field, forcing Spider-Man and the Wall to leave promptly. Spider-Man and the Wall then retreated to a nearby park bench and talked things out.
Wow.
So his powers, he has superhuman strength. He has the strength and durability of concrete. He has superhuman durability. He was able to shrug off Spider-Man's blows without taking any damage. And
Right.
he has superhuman speed, which means he can run faster than the average wall.
Which is not much at all. Questions. I've got questions. I've
What?
got lots of questions. One, how does he go to the bathroom?
Well, as you can see, I don't know. He's
Who's
built
just-
like a brick wall. He's built like a brick shit house.
Yeah.
There we go. He's the only villain who can be imprisoned by by other Tetris pieces. 100%.
Yep.
Oh my lord.
Hold on. We got a lot to catch up on here.
A bum should be sitting, leaning against him and sleeping. That's his true power. Oh my god.
We're not going to repeat that because we're on a family show.
Oh my god. Armless criminal. That
That
works.
works. Yeah.
He just shoulders you. His most heinous crime is not sitting down in front of the TV. What are you, brick wall? Well, as a matter of fact, I am.
I bet he's like a problem when he goes to these games.
Oh my
Something like that. And sits
God.
down. He blocks everybody behind him.
That is great. Holy cow. That's wonderful. Yeah, so Sal, do you think the Wicked Wall ever
No.
No. I'm going to agree with you 100%. He is F-lister from here forward. Oh my God. I'm gonna update the
Hold on.
pictures to put him
Hold on.
in there.
Yeah, put him on there. Hold on.
Oh yeah.
It's just what?
Here's
Why? it's oh,
Spidey was doing a cannonball.
oh my god.
That's great.
Ugh.
That's wonderful.
I
All right.
I think I lost a couple of brain cells just looking at that.
This is my favorite one so far. When I was reading his history, I was dying.
Oh gosh.
Wes, I actually did LOL. I didn't just snort. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that takes care of this week's F lists. Come back
Thank
next
you.
week on right here on the Codex Podcast for another wacky addition to the F list. Now, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for sticking with us through all of this. Now it's time for the review. Sal, you chose this week's book. Why don't you go ahead and let everybody know what it is, and then I will give the credits, and then you can go into the synopsis and your thoughts.
All right, very good. So this is the storyline: Spider-Man: The Death of Gene Wolfe. I'm sorry, Gene DeWolff. It's from Peter Parker's Spectacular Spider-Man Volume 1, and it's from issues 107 to 110.
Yeah, that's right. And this right here is the this is 107. This is the start of the 4-part storyline. But I
Yep.
wanted to show you the cover to 109, which I thought was just
Awesome.
unbelievable.
That is
Yeah.
amazing.
That covers it's spectacular, Sal.
It
Spectacular.
is.
This
It
is
is
what he does
spectacular.
on a Tuesday, not on a
Yeah.
Friday night. Yeah, this cover's gorgeous. I love it. I think it's great. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, Spectacular Spider-Man 107 through 110, The Death of Gene DeWolff, written by Peter David, pencils by Rich Buckler, inks by Brett Breeding, with additional inks by Joseph Rubenstein, Kyle Baker, Pat Redding, and M. Hands. Letters by Phil Felix and Rick Parker. Colors by Bob Sharon, George Roussos, and Neil Yomtov. Sal,
Okay.
what is this story about?
So this is actually the original Sin Eater story.
Mm-hmm.
The Sin Eater has been killing off um, major officials, some police officers, but it starts off with the death of Jean DeWolff. She is the first one that we know that's been killed. I mean,
Yeah.
it just starts off. She is already dead. Okay, Spider-Man comes on the scene. You know, he's starts working with the police a little bit to figure out who killed her.
Yeah.
So some other elected officials get shot as well.
A
Spider-Man
judge?
loses. What's that?
A judge?
A judge. Yep.
Yeah.
A judge. And um, Spider-Man seems to lose his temper a lot during this because
Mhm.
over the course of the story, you find out that Jean DeWolff was actually keeping track of Spider-Man, but was not manhunting Spider-Man like the rest of the police usually do.
Yeah.
She was probably more respecting him and not liking him, but considered him an ally. I'll say
Yeah.
that. Okay, there was no real romance between the two at any point in time, and the way Peter implies that they were like she liked him as a person or as what he was doing.
Yeah.
Okay, so once he kind of comes to that realization, he gets even more enraged and wants to bring this guy in. But each battle, starts happening to like more innocents get involved or get hurt, or
Mhm.
he's not able to capture him, so this guy keeps getting away. And towards the end, well, he meets up with Daredevil, and now Daredevil, of course, being the lawyer of the pro bono attorney type of lawyer
Mhm.
that he is, has to explain to Spider-Man, yeah, he deserves his time in court. And Spider-Man's like, I don't know about this. He's not deserving of his time in court. He's an animal type of situation.
Yeah.
That, and then really starts to lose his temper against it. And those two actually duke it out for a little bit. Daredevil just barely beats him, and it even admits it that he got lucky with his Billy Club attack.
Yeah.
That screwed up his spider sense a little bit, so he could get the advantage on him. And Daredevil could tell, like, okay, his heart's still racing at a mile a minute. He's going to wake up in a few hours, but I'll have the guy protected by then. And when it turns out to be, am I allowed to give the spoiler? I guess
yeah, the story's been out for a while, so yeah, go right
we'll
ahead
spoil it away.
because it's pivotal. This is a
it's
pivotal moment in Spider-Man history.
So the Sin Eater turns out to be a police officer that was working with Spider-Man to capture the Sin Eater. Now,
Mhm.
this Sin Eater, this story, like you said, was pivotal because when Peter Parker or Spider-Man captures the Sin Eater and he actually gets revealed to be who he is, this is the Sin Eater that this is the Sin Eater story that I want to say that overwrites the story that Betty Brock was writing on the Sin Eater because he was following a copycat. So
Yeah.
once the real Sin Eater was captured, Eddie Brock's journalism career went down the tubes
Yeah.
starting then, and that's what started his hatred for Spider-Man. You
Yeah.
know, so from there, now also from another point, Daredevil and Spider-Man finally realize who each other's secret identities are
Mhm.
because when the cop is being escorted into the courthouse or police station at the time. I forget which one it was. A mob attacks, and
Yeah.
Spider-Man's like, go ahead. I'm not stopping this.
Yeah.
Daredevil jumps in and starts doing it, but of course he gets overwhelmed, and he says one word that brings Spider-Man back into action, and
Mhm.
he yells his name.
Yep.
Okay, and that's when Spider-Man, realizes he knows who I am, and this is when you realize that Daredevil says, well, I could tell your heartbeat is like almost like a unique fingerprint for me. I could tell that was you, in civvies or in your
Yep.
street clothes type of thing. So, and then it goes, if you're wondering, my handle is Matt Murdock, and Spider-Man's like, but you're blind, but
The
you're blind,
lawyer?
but you're blind. So they reveal to each other their secret identities, and it's a pretty deep story about the law and the justice system. Everybody has to have their day in court. You
Yep.
know, no matter what. No matter how bad their atrocities were, they'd still deserve their day in court. That type of situation.
Yeah,
Anything else you want to add
100%.
to that?
I'll give my thoughts here in a minute. What
Okay.
is your rating, good sir?
Oh, you want me to give my rating on this? I am
Yeah.
definitely
Oh,
giving
yeah.
this one a 10 out of 10. I love this
Ooh.
story. I thought it was a very deep story. I mean, it showed a lot of, compassion, rage, and just basic plot movement of the story from just those three
Yeah.
or four issues was incredibly well paced. It was well written. I didn't feel detracted from the story at any time during reading this. So it was just a great story. So I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10.
Sal, I'm gonna go ahead and agree with you on that. This is a big 10 out of 10 for me.
Yeah. Well, you'd be
I
wise to do so.
I I love this story. I had never read this before. Like I knew about the specific moments and things,
Hmm.
but I didn't realize how significant this story was until I finished it.
Right.
Like it was jaw dropping. I was like, oh, this has to do with all of this that leads to Venom. This is the start of all of that. And this
Hmm.
was back in 1985, ladies and gentlemen. So 4 years before that even took place.
Right.
Rich Buckler's artwork was
Hmm.
fantastic in
Yeah.
this. It was amazing. It was cinematic
Yep.
how well this work was done. Peter David Bougie, you said it in a comment just a few minutes ago. Has he ever written a bad story? No.
No.
And
Yeah. Yeah. It's not.
this is amazing. One of my favorite Spider-Man stories is Web of Spider-Man number 13, which was written by Peter David. And
Hmm.
now this is right there on that list. It's fantastic. It is dramatic. This is a crime thriller,
Hmm.
and it has a lot of misdirection. Like there's this one priest that comes in that doesn't really do a whole lot in the
Right.
story, but you are led to believe, at least in my eyes, you were led to believe that he could be the Sin Eater.
Right.
Um, uh, the Sin Eater, the way he was doing things, like killing Gene DeWolff right off the bat. This story did not shy away from the violence,
Wow. It didn't.
and I
Yeah. It
thought,
showed her dead body on the ground and everything.
dude, I thought that was very unique for a Marvel story at this time. This was
Yeah.
an incredibly deep Marvel story when usually the stories are science fiction or major
Mhm.
fantasy based or something like this. This was very grounded.
Right.
And what two better characters to use than Spider-Man and Daredevil? And you got to see their friendship form over 4 issues. Like there was professional respect, but their friendship
Mhm.
forming over 4 issues was great.
Right.
And I yeah, this was just amazing. The entire creative team, from Peter David to Rich Buckler, the inks by Brett Breeding. You guys will know his name. You're cackling, Sal.
Oh,
Um, Brett
come on.
Breeding, you'll know his name from Superman. He worked with Dan Jurgens during the Death Superman saga. Phil Felix, Rick Parker for letters, colors, Bob Sharon, George Russo, Neil Yomtov, and the additional inks by Joseph Rubenstein, Kyle Baker, Pat Redding, and M. Hands. Dude, the whole creative team was amazing on this.
So let me point out a couple of things here. Like you said, it did not shy away from this
Mm-mm.
from the get go, and even in the beginning, where Spider-Man or Peter Parker meets one of his old teachers or something like that on the street, who
Yeah.
happens to get mugged,
Oh no, it
and
was his aunt's
I thought it was one of his teachers.
apartment mate.
Oh,
They
okay,
lived
okay,
in the same
apartment.
uh
Okay,
yeah, apartment complex
I
together.
thought it was one of his teachers. Okay, well that's fine.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've really read the story. So yeah, and he gets mugged,
Yeah.
and he goes after him as Spider-Man, and he does not pull back on these guys. He
He
goes
go
after him like it's a Thanos type of event, you know?
this this story really shows Spider-Man Peter Parker cutting loose
Yeah,
on a lot of
it
guys. Like
does.
when he goes to the Kingpin for
Yeah.
information,
Yep. I was gonna say, yep.
and the Kingpin's like, I don't want to throw fists with you. I don't want to talk to you. You're
Yeah.
all my dealings are legal. You're breaking in, and if you don't leave, I'll call the police.
Yeah.
And
But even then, the committee's like, I don't care if he's killed the judge or the police because he's killed innocent people, and
yeah,
innocent people bore me. Yeah, I
yeah,
remember that. And then he
yeah.
goes, but he killed a priest, and that I will, I have a
That
truck with.
polarizes the city. That was the only problem Kingpin had. But I can't say it enough. The story was amazing. This
Yep.
is one of the greatest stories I've read this year, and it's
So let me
wonderful.
let me ask you this: did you see a certain cameo of a certain movie star?
Charles Bronson, yes, I
Yes.
did. As soon as I saw that panel, I was like, "Oh, Death Wish right
Yep.
there."
Yep. And how
Yeah,
appropriate is that in this issue with Death Wish? With that movie, what it was and what it stood for.
yeah. And
Meaning,
what he had the newspaper that said vigilante does something down below. I thought that was really unique too.
yep, yep.
Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen,
What's your
Sal,
rating?
oh,
What was your
10
rating?
out of 10,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Okay, very good, very
I
good.
give it a 10 out of 10, ladies and gentlemen. Sal gives this a 10 out of 10. This
Definitely,
is definitely a recommended reading right here from the Codex Station.
100%.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, next week, Sonny will be back. Sal, you're on vacation next week, so Dan will be in the chair with you next week. And I know we're going to be doing the much awaited New Warriors Forever Yesterday storyline that he chose, issues 11 through 13. That's your homework, chat. New Warriors, issues 11 through 13, volume 1. Read that before next Wednesday. All right, Sal, any final words before we get out of here tonight?
Yep. Buy those variants, people. They gotta be.
There you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us tonight right here on the Codex Podcast. We do this for you. If you weren't here, neither would we. And we love your company. I hope you guys enjoy ours because we look forward to this every single week.
Absolutely.
Sal, we got something. What would it be?
Oh, it's the socials, ladies and gentlemen. We have all of them. And if you go to any social media, do at the Codex Station. Click that like, follow, share, subscribe. Draw blood if you have to. If you want to see content like this more often and be notified for it, do all those things you need to do.
There you go. At the Codex Station, ladies and gentlemen, your favorite social media platforms, and where we're live streaming right
Yep.
now. As Sal said, make sure to hit that like, share, subscribe, and or follow so you don't miss content like this all the time, every time. Another
Thank you,
home
Boo.
run. Thank you,
Thank you,
Bougie, very
Bougie.
much.
Yeah.
All right. And if you want to look too cool for school, ladies and gentlemen, head over to thecodexstation.com for all your Codex needs. Get some merch, meet the team, and so much more. Once again, thecodexstation.com. Sal, all of the Codex Station, well, most of us are going to be where in September?
Well, we're going to be at the Baltimore Comic Con. And if you're there, stop by the table. Maybe pick up a nice lantern, a wristband, some stickers, some pins. Talk to
Yeah.
us. It'll
Oh,
be fun.
yeah. Baltimore Comic Con, ladies and gentlemen, September 20th through 22nd. Nearly every member of the Codex Station is going to be there, and we would love to sit down
Right.
and have a chat with you guys. So if you're in the area, head on over, tell them Codex sent you, and we'll let you take a seat. All
Yeah.
right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, my name is Tim the Terrible. This beautiful man over here is Sal the Slab Guy. This is the Codex Podcast right here on the Codex Station, and we will see you next time.
Absolutely. See ya.
I love you very
Yeah, I
much.
love you too.
Oh, right
And we
on.
love the chat.
We love the chat. Chat, we love you. We love you so much. We're going to send you roses on Valentine's Day. What's your favorite flower? Let us know in the comments below. We'll see you next time.